All right, let's preview the Monday night matchup, the Saints, Green Bay Packers. There's a couple keys to look for in this one. First of all, for the Packers, I believe, now Reggie Bush is probable for the game. You're going to have to deal with his deployment. How are you going to cover him? If it's a linebacker or a safety, you're going to get yourself crushed. Then you better rely on the pressure to get to Drew Brees, because none of those guys are going to be able to cover Reggie Bush in the open field catching the ball, and you got to be alert for him, obviously, on special teams as a game breaker. The key here is to make sure Drew Brees doesn't have time. You almost got to treat this, if you're the Green Bay Packers defense, like Oklahoma played Texas Tech. Now, the offense is different when you talk about the spread and being in the gun every down. I don't mean that, but the way you treat Drew Brees and how you're going to defend the New Orleans Saints, you must make sure are you going to sell out with pressure and play man, which the Packers can do because of their secondary, their safeties, and their corners, as good as there is in the league all around. They can do it. Or are you going to rush 4 and 5, play a little bit of zone behind it at times, and then make them catch and tackle? But that's the problem that New Orleans is going to have to deal with, because the Packers have that freedom. A lot of teams don't have the freedom of 2 shutdown corners and the safeties like Bigby who can knock you around. They've got that. They have got that. They're not a great run defense, the Packers, by any stretch of the imagination. Average, not even average at best. They've been able to shut it down last week, the run, but it's this week, and they're going to have to shut it down. And then the following past weeks, they haven't been able to. So when you take a look at this, New Orleans, how they're going to deal with this, is it pressure? Is it zone? Is it a mix of everything? So the linemen are confused. That's what you'll have to deal with. You're not going to be able to confuse Drew Brees much. You're just going to have to get to him, because if it becomes a passing fancy, if in fact the Saints defense on the other side now can shut down Ryan Grant and the run game of the Packers and make this Drew Brees versus Aaron Rodgers. Hey, Aaron Rodgers can throw it, but nobody can throw it like Drew Brees right now, other than maybe Kurt Warner with the numbers they're putting up. So for me, if it's a passing fancy one-dimensional game for both, Saints have the advantage. But I like the Packers, their ability to run the football a little better. I just think they're more stout. They're going to have to stop the run, and they're going to have to pressure Drew Brees and not give up the big play. So the key here mainly, how do the Saints deal with what you're going to get on defense, and how are the Saints receivers going to deal with pressure, hard, physical, man coverage at times? Drew Brees can throw it on anybody. You can't let him get hot early. The Green Bay Packers, I think, go on the road and win, but the New Orleans Saints are capable. They're one of those teams that when you pick against them, you just know they're ready for an explosion. That could be this game. They're going to have to establish the run with everybody on that team, run the football again, make the Packers run defense stop you, because they've only done it a couple times against teams this year. I think Green Bay can win this one on the road, though, but their defense better show up. I'm Sean Salisbury for Open Sports.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy at opensports.com.